Version. I'm Maddox.
I'm Sor, and today we're going to be reading Psalms 91 and talking about it. So, yeah, I'm just going to read it. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a buckler. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked, because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge. No evil shall be allowed to befall you, no plague come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. Because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him, because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. What do you guys think that this is talking about?
What I get from it is like comfort, being like covered in his love and like feeling safe, basically.
And he'll always be there for you when bad things happen.
I think it's kind of talking about like more like protection. Like in verse 4 it says, he will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is like a shield or buckler. It's like a shield, basically.
Yeah. One thing I quickly want to point out is this is written by Moses. I think that's pretty important because the story of Moses is like, God talks to him in the fiery bush, and like at first Moses doesn't really want to listen to God at all. So I think just remember that as we're reading through this. And I guess I'll just read verse 1 again and we can talk about it. So he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty.
He who like stays in like near in God's presence will be in his presence.
Yeah.
Like kind of like have the benefits of being with God almost.
Yeah, I feel like that it's he who like lives their life for God basically is like protected by him.
Mm-hmm. And they get to like live in his kingdom.
Yeah, definitely. In the shadow of the Almighty, like I've kind of talked about this before, but I feel like the shadow kind of just reminds me of like being like protected from like extreme heat, and like I guess that could represent a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really intimate picture.
Yeah. Okay, verse 2. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. I have one question. So, it talks about like refuge and fortress a lot. Like, what is a refuge and what is a fortress?
Isn't a refuge... I know that a refugee is somebody that ran away from their home or country and is seeking shelter. The refuge could be like the shelter.
Yeah.
Like seeking shelter in the fortress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like refuge is kind of just like a place where you like have everything you need to survive, I guess, and it kind of just keeps you safe from like the outside world. But then like a fortress also is kind of just like something that like is impenetrable, I guess. I feel like
extra protection.
Kind of like what it said in verse 1, like he will abide in the shadow of the Most High, or of the Almighty.
Yeah, it's like something that can't be conquered, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Which leads back to comfort and like feeling safe with God.
Mm-hmm. Verse 3. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler, and from the deadly pestilence.
First off, what is a fowler again?
A fowler, a fowl is like a bird, I think, and a fowler is someone who hunts a fowl.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And also a snare is a trap.
And then what's pestilence or a pestilence? I don't even know the correct word.
Isn't that like a disease?
It's a
type of disease.
Oh, okay.
It's like sickness or disease.
Yeah.
So basically what I think it's trying to say is like God will help you out of like the devil's like traps.
Yeah, I picture the fowler as like the devil. He's like the trapper who's trying to trap us. And then snare, I picture things like temptation that, you know, ensnare us in our daily life, and we're tempted by all kinds of things.
Like addiction and like me with my Arizona addiction.
Yeah.
And just like all like other kind of like bad things.
Yeah, it's interesting that, like, you know, God can deliver us from that, so
Yeah.
he has the power to do that.
Like it says in Ephesians 6:10-20, put on the whole armor of God so you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil.
That's actually a really similar scheme.
Kind of like God helping you through like the dark times, and like Satan is trying to like get at you and trying to like tell you things that aren't true and stuff like that.
It's like the snare of the fowler and the scheme of the devil are like synonyms.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Carson was bringing up this kind of protection from bad things, right? I'm curious. I'd love to hear this from you guys. What are bad things for a middle schooler? There's a lot.
Embarrassment.
Okay.
That's my big thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's definitely all kinds of things, but, you know, there's things that wouldn't be considered like as bad, but are still bad, like kind of lying and all kinds of just like things that you could do on a daily basis. And then there's also like a lot more like worse, like drugs and all kinds of stuff that could be really bad, like porn even. Like,
Yeah.
And just like getting caught up in the wrong group.
The wrong people. Yeah.
That'll get you into trouble.
Because then they'll influence you to do bad things too.
yeah, peer pressure.
Yeah,
So
peer
big.
pressure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Okay, verse 4. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wing you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and a buckler.
A buckler is like a small shield, right?
Yeah,
Like attached to the arm.
it's something that like you can use. It's kind of lighter. It's like a weapon almost, but you know you can still use it to block things. Just maybe not like arrows and stuff like that. But
What do you think that under the wings you will find refuge means?
Almost like the shadow in verse
Verse 1.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
the shadow of the Almighty.
I mean, wings will like give you shadow, I guess. Yeah, so it's
We
like
have a shadow.
really
And then
simple.
pinions are feathers,
Yeah, pinions are feathers.
which is kind of like, goes back to like being safe
Mhm.
or soft touch or something.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
actually like feathers are like really soft and like comfortable. I guess that's like something to point out. Like, I guess like under a wing, I feel like I'd be like comfortable like
Yeah.
that.
And I think it also means that he'll lift you up, because like wings like lift the bird up.
That makes sense.
So yeah, refuge. We see that again. Kind of talked about that already. His faithfulness is a shield. Going back to Ephesians 6:10-20. The armor of God. It talks about the shield of faith and how it protects us from the fiery arrows of the wicked one. So I think that's just like interesting.
Which is also like schemes again, as it said in verse 11 of Ephesians 6:10-20.
Just the similarity between this verse and that passage, it's just interesting. Okay, verse 5. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day.
Okay. I think I got something pretty good to say.
Okay.
So, you will not fear the terror of the night. I think that's saying, like, you can't really see what's going on in the night necessarily because it's dark, and you can't necessarily see Satan. So, like, you won't fear his little tricks and schemes. Schemes, right? Yeah. And then, where is it? Oh, nor the arrow that flies by the day. I'm not really sure what that exactly means.
I think it also means like, oh, Brandon, did you want to go?
No, you can go first. You go first.
I think it also just means like he'll also protect you from the stuff that you can see, like the stuff that you're aware of.
Yeah, just like talked earlier about the verse, the shield of faith, protecting you from the fiery arrows of the wicked one. It's like arrows again, so it's kind of the same thing, I guess.
That could lead to like being guilty, like knowing that something's wrong, and then like doing it, or like, well, in this case, God would be like, well, you will not be fear the things that you can already see.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, I don't know, I guess a feeling that like we don't have to be scared about those things, like God will protect us from those. So like the feeling that like that doesn't matter pretty much. It's just like kind of really reassuring, I guess.
Also, knowing when it comes helps too.
Yeah.
Because you could see when it comes.
Yeah, sure. And the terror of the night, I guess that kind of just reminds me of like nightmares and stuff that like
Totally.
I face. Like, you know, the night is kind of like, I guess it's more like scary. It's just like silent and feels more like lonely a lot of the time. So I feel like it's just like, you know, I won't fear like that loneliness, I guess, because he's there.
Or like having the feeling of not being loved.
Yeah. Yeah, and God loves us.
Can you read the verse one more time?
You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day. And that, I think, I'll move on to verse 6.
But can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
It's basically like God will be with you during the good and bad times.
Yeah.
About like the terror of the night.
Makes sense.
That's good.
I'm going to actually read verse 5 and 6 together because they kind of go together.
Mm-hmm.
You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday.
Oh, kind of like I was saying before, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness.
Yeah.
It's like something that you can't see, kind of like sneaking up on you.
Stalks in darkness. Yeah, I guess it kind of like reminds me of like sickness and stuff. That like, I mean, pestilence is sickness. So like, kind of literally, I guess we don't have to fear like sickness and disease and stuff like that because, you know, we know that we're protected by God and we have the reinsurance that even if we do die, we're going to heaven.
What does nor the destruction that wastes by noonday mean?
Honestly, I don't really. I mean, destruction obviously is just not a good thing, you know, things being destroyed. But I don't know what it means by waste at noonday.
Do you have anything to say, Carson?
Stumped on that one.
Yeah.
It's really weird language. We don't really say, I just waste away the middle of the day.
Yeah.
At noonday.
There's kind of
Noonday.
a little patterning happening, though. It's night, day
Yeah,
with the poem.
that's true.
So I wonder if the light part from the last verse can inform us about the light part from this verse.
Well, I had a thought. You guys brought up the fact that, the shadow, you guys were talking about the shadow of the Almighty. Well, if you're in, like, I'm just thinking if you were in back then, and you're sitting in, it was really hot, you're wasting away in the noon, the hottest part of the day. You don't have any shelter or nothing like that.
You don't fear it anymore.
Yeah,
you got the shadow.
You don't fear it anymore. You're protected. Yeah. That's just how you guys brought that up. And I was like, man, that's really good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of dying either, because
Yeah.
most people can die from heat. So
Oh yeah.
That's actually a really good point. Like eat. Okay. Anyone else have anything for that one?
I think we're good.
Okay. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you.
I always have trouble understanding this one.
The right hand thing in the
And the
side.
side.
It just doesn't.
Kind of like which one is more important, your right hand or your side?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't like focus on that part as much. Like I don't know exactly like what the difference between your side and your right hand are, but I mean 1,000 and 10,000. But
What it may mean, like I usually, it's probably wrong, but like maybe like more people that are like loved die, and then more people that like you don't really necessarily know, like, or less of them die, maybe.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sometimes it can be kind of convenient that like you may think that like more bad things happen to you than to like other people. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's what it's saying, but I could definitely.
neither.
What
Yeah,
about
fine.
in terms of believers or non-believers?
Oh, that makes sense. Because, like,
Believers and non-believers,
Yeah.
believers and non-believers.
To me, this kind of like creates a picture in my mind of like we talked earlier about like an army or like about the arrows coming at me, and I kind of like picture like an army of like people that are here, you know, and like you're protected because you have like, you know, for example, the shield of faith, the armor of God, and you're protected by God. And I just like picture you, you know, surviving, and I also picture like all the unbelievers, you know, falling around you. But I also imagine that within all those people dying, there's still some that are strong in their faith and, you know, are also protected by God. So you have allies there that are, you know, standing firm with you. So you're not alone, I picture, but at the same time, majority, you know, are falling and are failing, I guess.
It also reminds you of like that story in the Bible where like wasn't it like 300 men against like 10,000, and like they had to use I forgot what it was, but like they didn't even use any like swords or anything. Weren't they like I can't.
Was it stones?
Were they like burning stones or something?
I think it might have been torches and mason jars.
Yeah.
They smash the mason jars and then they scream as they run in.
Yeah.
And everybody kills each other.
And trumpets are the equivalent.
Yeah.
It's probably
Gideon.
multiple stories like that.
It's an epic story.
And they weren't scared because God was with them. They were under His wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 8. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. I'm just going to point out right away, I do not know what
Recompense
means.
Me neither.
We'll look it up with each other.
I believe we talked
For
about
a good
it
definition.
before, but I don't remember. I think it was like something to do with like reward for like,
I think it's being paid back.
yeah.
To make amends to someone for loss of harm suffered. To compensate.
So, like, if you punch somebody, then you, like, it's like a way of apologizing?
Like,
Kind of? Or, like,
I steal your Pokemon cards,
I mean, it's something I want
and
to.
then I have to give them back later.
oh.
Yeah, but this is the recompense of the wicked. So
Hmm.
you will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. So I guess that's them paying back. Is that them paying back to us what we owe, do you think? Or is that
Or like we could be like God says to like love everyone even if they're like your enemies, maybe.
Maybe like not like I guess like being like rude or like hating. Maybe I don't know. Just a thought.
I could feel like this could go a lot of different ways, but one way I kind of see it is like them like saying that they're like recompensed for like sinful things. So like it's kind of like telling us not to be fooled by like what they're saying that will be like paid back for like the bad things that we do. Like that we're not rewarded for bad things, I guess, but like the wicked one would say that we are.
What if it's
Kinda like
almost...
A lie, maybe.
What were you going to say, Max?
What if it's almost like... kind of like a trick? Like, the wicked, like, does something, and then they, like, pretend to, like, apologize or, like...
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Not... Yeah. Like, be wicked, I guess?
So what you're
And then,
saying,
like-
you will see through their lies? Is that kind of what you're saying?
No, like, you won't see through their lies. And then that's another trick.
Kind of like when you say sorry to your sibling, but you don't actually mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's what it's saying here, though, because it's, I mean, read it again.
Yeah.
You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked.
Feels like it's the people that have done destructive things finally getting what they deserve.
Oh.
It's basically justice served out
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
for good and evil.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, with that,
I was taking that the wrong way.
yeah, one thing is like, we know, so we trust in God, but we know that if we follow, His orders and things, we're rewarded for that in heaven. So I guess that's our recompense, is being rewarded in heaven for the good things that we do here on earth.
One more thing. And when we read out the definition, I think we all kind of took it the wrong way and thought it was almost like a bad kind of payback, or like not necessarily a reward. Yeah, we thought it was like
Revenge.
an apology or revenge.
Yeah.
We didn't really think of it as like a reward because it could have meant a reward. I mean, it could mean a reward.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that amazing how sometimes you don't understand exactly what something means, and then you find out what it means, and it changes the whole picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Verse 9. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge, no evil shall befall you, no plague come near your tent.
I think this also kind of ties into like verse 1 and 2, like, and 6 and 5. It just like bad won't come near you.
If you're in God's presence.
Yes.
I have a question. What do you think it means by, because we have made the Lord your dwelling place? Like, what do you think it means by us making the Lord our dwelling place?
Coming to God, making it like having faith in Him, kind of like it says in verse 4.
Mm-hmm. Actually, one way I kind of look at it is like, I guess spending time with God and like, just like dwelling in things of the Lord, like, reading your Bible, praying, fellowshipping with other believers, and like, it's just like kind of like the kind of people you hang out with and like what you spend your time on. If you're hanging out with other people who are like bad influences, like we talked about a little bit earlier, who like, peer pressure you into stuff and all kinds of things, like I feel like that wouldn't be like dwelling with the Lord, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What if, because we brought up like the bad people and like the bad things in our lives in this multiple times, like when you add those two together about protection and like being like naughty or whatever, like it's kind of saying like God's always watching you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is what I'm kind of gathering from it so far.
Yeah. So yeah, again, it talks about no evil befalling us and like no plague coming near you. But come near your tent. I guess that's kind of different. Like I feel like tent is kind of more like our house. I guess our home.
Yeah, your house, like, well, like like maybe the tent could be the shadow of the Almighty, like in God's presence, maybe.
Yeah, I just picture it as like a house, I guess. Like,
going back to comfort again.
Well, remember, you guys, this is Moses wrote this, so remember they're wandering. Remember, they don't have an actual house, so their houses are tents.
Yeah.
So if you look at it in that context, so God is also protecting his protection over your house, also.
Yeah,
and the plagues back then too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The plagues.
Yeah. So like protecting your house and I guess also your household, so like family and things like that.
Yeah.
Food. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you can't really. I mean, could food be affected by plagues?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like basically,
stuff. Yeah.
Because you chose to follow God, He protects you from all of the bad stuff like the plagues and like the evil and stuff like that.
It's almost even more intimate. Like the imagery isn't even following God, but being right next to Him.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're so close that His shadow's on you.
Yeah.
Braden, your shadow is currently casted nearly on David. It's this incredibly intimate picture of this sort of relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy that he like commands his angels to guard us. Like, I mean, I imagine like legions and like just tons of angels in heaven, like the like sheer amount that God has, and he like commands them to guard us and protect us from everything.
Which goes back to protection again. It all kind of has like the same idea, just like protection. That's what I get from all.
Yeah,
it's very similar.
And I mean, God's a pretty busy guy, so he needs some form of something to like protect us. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, well, God is God. Like He's always watching us, and
He could do anything.
like Santa.
Yeah.
Except
Sees you when you're sleeping.
That's
except cooler and awesome. Yeah,
And not fat.
He doesn't eat cookies.
yeah. One
and
thing.
break into people's houses.
One thing that I find interesting is it says in all. Well, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Like I don't know what that in all your ways necessarily means, but it's kind of just like in everything. I guess how it means like we're protected by everything.
Maybe things that could like tie in with like what you are scared of, or like what you are concerned of.
Yeah.
But, like they can like the angels can help you through like we all like find different stuff like scary or like concerning or anything, and like with our own ways.
I feel like just kind of like with whatever you need protection from, they'll protect you.
Okay. Verse 12.
Wait. Can I say something about 11? In like the all your ways part, I think he's talking about like the different paths you'll take in life.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like
Actually, that's really
how somebody might go down like a path like drugs or like something like that. He'll like always be there to kind of protect you.
It's a good point.
Be able to get out of it.
So that
through the light, and he'll be with you through the light and the dark.
Yeah, he's like always there, and like I think we all struggle with hard times, some more than others.
Kind of going back to like verse 5 and 6.
Mhm.
You won't not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day.
Okay. Verse 12. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone.
Okay, this one is really confusing to me.
Same.
It's like, I don't know what lest means.
Unless,
Lest you strike your foot against a stone.
Or else?
yeah, or else like,
Or before you strike your foot on the stone.
it's like,
I think it's still talking about the angels.
yeah, it's talking about the angels,
it?
but it's,
Because it kind of like
yeah,
'cause
it's
yeah.
talking about the angels.
Like, kind of them, like,
on their hands.
Yeah, less is, I guess, unless is like really something
About
like if they don't do it.
Oh, they
in
will.
case of
Yeah, actually,
They
I
will
was
lift
just-
you up so you won't hit your hand on the or foot on the stone.
oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
So they will lift you above. So
On their hands, on the angel's hands, they will bear you up
so you don't strike your foot.
so you don't strike your foot on a
in
rock.
case,
In case you
Okay.
hit your foot on the stone.
I think
In
they,
case you get stuck in like the devil's schemes, a trap, kind of like the snare.
I
Of
guess-
the power.
one thing is it kind of trips you up, and like, tripping someone up
Yeah.
is kind of like a picture of like, like trying to trip somebody else is like, or figuratively,
Yeah.
is trying to mess them up on purpose, I guess. I'm sorry.
It's funny you say that about the devil's schemes, though, because there's a story in the Gospels of Jesus in the wilderness
Just thinking of myself.
Oh yeah, he tries to get Jesus to.
jump off a
Yeah.
building.
And before he hits, he said almost the same thing.
The devil quotes this psalm,
Yep.
Oh,
and
really?
it says, "Dude, you'll be caught."
Yeah.
So it's super
goes
funny.
the test.
Yeah, super cool.
What does it reply?
Wait,
Gotta go find out.
how does Satan know the Bible?
What's the verse?
Because he walked with God before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was an angel, but then he just.
he was Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that
He
God?
went down the wrong path.
Isn't that God's second highest angel? Like,
It was the highest angel,
oh,
and then he
well,
threw
like
it all
highest
away
angel.
because he wanted to be greater.
It's so annoying.
You want to be the best Fortnite player.
He wanted to get all the dubs.
Yeah. Come on, keep going, sorry.
Yep. Verse 13. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot.
What is the adder?
It's a venomous snake.
Oh.
A very venomous snake.
Tread on the lion and the adder. I don't really get that.
Maybe,
I guess,
like, you'll be able to, like, defeat it, maybe?
yeah, like treading on it kind of just like shows like smushing them to the ground, like not really like worrying about like the fact that those are like really dangerous animals, but you just trample them underfoot, like they don't matter, I guess, like they're nothing.
Mm.
Do lions eat adders?
No.
I don't know.
I think young lions probably eat people.
If they can find any. You will tread on the lion and the adder. What does it mean by tread
on the lion?
Tread is like walk.
You'll walk on them.
You guys ever seen
Oh,
the
so
Spy?
you'll smush the lion
You'll tread
and
on
the
me?
snake?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that makes sense. Because
Mhm.
lion will try and attack you.
Yeah.
Basically, it says to be any form of evil that the devil throws at you, you will overcome. You will triumph it over that because God is there.
You'll walk over them because you just don't care.
I heard
Like you can walk on flames and God will protect you.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking.
Kind of like when
Those are trying-
like those three guys got thrown into the burning furnace and they were just walking around.
Oh yeah.
What are their names?
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And then they have other names that I can never remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Rack, Shack, and Benny.
There we go.
I thought one of their names
always
was
get
like
their
Deagle.
names changed in the Bible.
Yeah.
This verse, does it like make any of your guys' minds start shooting up flares for the beginning of the story? Genesis 3, where there's a serpent. That's,
Yeah, yeah.
I was just thinking about that.
yeah.
I was thinking about it,
Want
but
to
I didn't
come,
know if I
well.
should say it.
Stupid
Do you know what the
adders.
promise is?
Isn't it? Well, it's about Jesus.
Yeah, that there's going to be a seed
Mhm.
that is going to, translation, tread on the snake. And to stomp on the snake. But it's going to bite a seal.
Yeah.
And as it retaliates.
So yeah, 14 through 16 is God saying that. It's like quoting God's word, so very important when looking at it. I know from experience. Okay. Because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With a long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
That's cute. I like that.
It's not.
Well, like,
Well, it's a beautiful thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got excited.
Verse 14. I'll read it again just because I read all that together. Because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. So it's saying that if we hold fast to God in love, he will deliver us. I think that's really important because, obviously we've talked all about God protecting us and all of that, but we need to first put our trust in God and, believe in him and honor him and glorify him for all the things that he has done and for dying on the cross. Jesus becoming a man and dying on the cross. Like, that is absolutely amazing, but, that needs to come first before we're protected by anything.
Yes.
Isn't love God, basically?
God is love.
God is love.
Yeah.
The psalm, we're going through a lot of it and seeing like what it's teaching us or what it's trying to communicate. And what the psalms or ancient poetry does is just create this beautiful picture. And I just want to highlight this part of the picture that's the beginning and the end. The beginning is a person standing so close to someone that their shadow is hovering over them. And now this last line is someone clinging on to this person like a child to their father so that they'll protect them. Just such a beautiful picture that's being painted for us to see who our Father is. Good stuff.
Yep.
No, it's really beautiful, like how all of this, paints so many like images and just like pictures of like, and representations of like all of this. Kind of like uncomprehendable, like everything that's happening, but this kind of like helps us like, I don't know, I guess envision it in like a way that we can understand, I guess. Verse 15. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him.
I feel like that means like if like when you call for him, he'll be there no matter what, and then he'll like after he's done helping you, he'll like I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I have a question real quick. How do we call to God?
Pray. Or just call out.
I mean, yeah, he's always listening. Yeah, sure. And, it's just, if we ask God for help, he is willing to help us. We just have to, ask him for help, and we have to listen to his answer.
How is this God talking?
It's quoting God.
That still wouldn't make sense, though. Because God wouldn't say, when he calls me, who is he? When God
The person,
the man.
You.
Us.
Us.
Oh,
You.
us?
Whoever's praying to him.
When we call to God, he will answer us.
I guess it would make more sense if it said, when they call to me, I will answer them.
Some translations might do that.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's one of the super weird things about ancient literature and ancient poetry is sometimes it's just transitions to different people talking. Ancient literature didn't have quotation marks, so we have to do the best we possibly can to figure out where the quotes are, where the sentence ends.
Well, and remember, people like us didn't have access to a lot of the readings. You had to be like a holy person. You had to be anointed by God to be able to spread the word. So what to me this says is that now he's telling us all of us get that gift. We can all ask him. Mm-hmm. To me, that's what it means to me, but I already know the beginning and the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like God is announcing to everyone, hey, this is my child. I'm protecting him.
Mm-hmm.
He's my son.
Yeah. What do you think that it means by it says that I will rescue him and honor him? How do you think that God honors us, I guess? And it's an example of that.
So like I think it's kind of saying I don't really know what word this like. When you honor somebody, you kind of like
Give them respect.
yeah, show them respect, but it's I don't really
Bless
know.
them.
plus.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I feel like it's more of a
Hasn't
broad
he already
spectrum.
blessed us with like giving the ultimate sacrifice?
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's just kind of going like the extra step.
I feel like it's a broad. Is it broader or more broad? A broader spectrum. Yeah, whatever. But
Well, remember, Moses has written this. Jesus hasn't sacrificed yet.
yeah.
It's true.
Well, he knew that he was gonna
Isn't that crazy?
sacrifice. So
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of like teasing it the whole time, and nobody really
I
knew.
mean, the whole Bible is kind of leading up to that.
Teaser trailer.
Okay.
Coming soon.
Live.
Verse 16, with long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. I think that, honestly, that's pretty simple, like salvation.
Yeah.
Satisfy him with
Teaser
like,
trailer again.
blessing him
Simple teaser.
and being with him in the dark.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of verses that talk about us like thirsting for God, I guess, and eternal water. And I feel like He satisfies us, and it's just like I feel like things of this world, can never fill us up, I guess, and we'll always be thirsty for more. But God can satisfy that thirst, and He shows us His eternal salvation, where we live with Him forever in heaven, and I think that's just so beautiful and amazing. So yeah, that's it. I asked this at the beginning. I'm gonna ask it again. What do you guys think about all of this?
I think the main idea for me, at least, is like comfort and just feeling safe with God and coming to Him when you're in dark times and feeling hopeless and feeling like there is no hope and stuff like that. And so He will like lead you through the darkness and in the light, even when you are like happy. He'll bless you and stuff.
And like, no matter what, no matter how hard it is, or whatever you're going through, He'll always be there, and He'll do His best to protect you and keep you going.
And He'll give love to you.
I think it's pretty simple, but also like extremely complicated. But it's like beautiful, and like so big. But it's just like talking about how like when we seek God, He'll always be there for us whenever we're alone in times of need. Just like stressed or whatever we're going through, no matter how small or how big. He's always there for us. I don't know, all of this like representation and imagery is so like beautiful, but I don't know, it's just He's always there for us, and we've been so blessed, and He honors us and all kinds of things that honestly we don't deserve at all. But it's just absolutely crazy.
I think verses 1 through 13 are talking about like us going to Him, but verses 14 through 16 talk about Him coming to us. Kind of like He'll comfort us and He'll love us and He'll come to us, even though like some people don't want to come to Him.
It's a really good observation, Greg. It's really good to see that.
One thing I want to say really quick is like a lot throughout this, I feel like it's talking about coming to God in like time of need, I guess, I feel like. And like, pestilence, destruction, arrows, all that stuff. But I feel like also it's important to, in our good times, to come to God and be thankful for everything that we have, and, just like how blessed we are with all of this, just be thankful for that, like in our high moments as well as our low, seek God.
What I think like all this is kind of saying is like, no matter where you are in life, like if you're like into bad things, like all that stuff, God is always with you, even in your bad times, and He will always forgive you, no matter what.
And help you through the traps of the devil.
Yep.
And the evil.
The snares.
The snares.
And the snakes.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yep.
So it seems like the general consensus is this psalm is about comfort, God being your comforter, your protector. And then we could read the psalm and we could think, yeah, God's like a protector, dude. That's what I think. Do any of you guys, with your heart and your mind, feel like God is your comforter and your protector?
Yeah, you can go to Him when you're feeling like anxious or just like anything that's like not very pleasant, I guess.
Yeah, you feel like
Like
God
if you
protects
feel sad or mad or anything. even if you're happy, you can still go to him if you just feel like you need him.
Yeah.
And he'll always be there by your side if you need him.
There's been so many times in my life where I've like, you know, like God has helped me through things. Like even like the other day, I was like, my mom told me to do the dishes, and I was like, Mom, it's 11 o'clock. I don't want to do this. And I was like, just let me go to sleep. But then I was like, you know, God like tells me to do what my mother says, and you know,
Honor your mother
to
and
work
father.
for Him and not for man, but do it for God.
Isn't that one of the commandments?
Yeah, honor your mother and father.
Yeah. It's just
I
like,
forgot
you know,
what it is. It's like the 6th or something.
things like that I like, you know, constantly are happening to me that just, you know, remind me of like, you know, that, you know, if God could, you know, send His Son to die for me, why can't I go, you know, sweep the floor?
Exactly.
Not that hard. But
Yeah, sort of shared a little story. I'd also be interested in hearing if you guys have any short stories of when God really came in for you and really comforted you or protected you.
It was at Black Lake Bible Camp, just like pretty recently, when we were doing worship that one night, and we like wrote down on a piece of paper and put in the bucket like what things we were gonna like kind of almost surrender to God. When we were like singing after I put my thing in the bucket, I just felt like it was almost like a warm blanket just like wrapped around me. That's exactly how I explained it to Anthony.
I remember that.
Almost like
Exactly.
The
wings.
comfort.
Mm.
Yeah.
Comfort ear.
Like wings being wrapped around you.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment.
And then Brady had to fart right when I was sharing.
Yeah.
There was that too.
Oh,
It
this is a
was
winter
a
blast?
beautiful moment.
It was short-lived, but it was very beautiful.
Yeah, that was Winter Blast.
It was winter blast, yeah.
Black Lake Bible. Yeah, I did not
That was just this year.
connect those two.
Do you guys have a story you want to share real quick? Otherwise, we can just close it.
When I was having a surgery, right before the surgery, I was like super worried, and then like I felt like God kind of like making me feel like it was okay, and so I kind of felt like relieved, and I wasn't as worried.
It's cool.
Lucky. I just went to sleep. That's all I remember. Just a blur, and I was gone.
I got one. I think like it was like right after like COVID hit. It was like maybe like a month. I feel like I didn't like have anyone to ever talk to except like my family, and I started like getting really into like reading the Bible and praying and having a good relationship with God, and I felt like I just needed a friend. You can think of God as a friend.
You guys did an amazing job.
I know, I did.
You guys get rocking, man.
It's so good thinking about this stuff.
Yeah.